In this video, we're going to go over Chapter 7, Calculations with Dates. First, let's go over how dates work in Excel. So, you can enter a date in Excel many different ways. We'll talk about that when we get to the second tab, date formatting. But for right now, I'm going to enter my birthday, 3/5/60. If you enter that with an equal sign, Excel will take that as a formula and will take 3 divided by 5 divided by 60. But in this case, it's going to accept it as a date, March 5th, 1960. And then I can do several calculations with this. So for example, I can put in today's date and use that to calculate how many days I've been alive. So I can tell Excel to take March 11th, 2023, and subtract March 5th, 1960. And it winds up that I've been alive, 23,016 days. You can also use this to calculate maturity dates. So for example, let's say it's today, and you've loaned your friend $20 for 90 days. So I can put in 90 here, and you can take March 11th, 2023, add 90 days, and find out that your friend owes you back the money on June 9th, 2023. Similarly, you can subtract, you can multiply, although I don't understand why you'd want to multiply dates, but you can do it because Excel stores dates as a serial number, the number of days since January 1st, 1990. So in fact, if I change this to a number format, you can see that my birth date was 21,980 days since January 1st, 1900. But I can put it back into a date format, and there it is. Now, let's go into some date formatting. Okay, so Excel likes to format dates the way it likes to format it. So I can put in dates several different ways. So for example, I can put in my birth date as March 5th, 1960. I can put it in as March 5th, 1960. I can put it in as March 5th, 1960. And notice how in each case it recognizes it as a date. But what happens is if I want to change the format, I say, no, I want March 5th, 1960, and I hit enter, and it does what it wants. And I click back, and I say, no, I want March 5th, 1960, and basically it does what it wants. So in order to display a date in the way you want, you have to use this number format right in the middle. So make sure that you're in the Home tab and you use the number format. Now if you click the down arrow where it says Custom, notice there are several different dates available, short date and long date. But if you really want different dates available, click that little down arrow to the right of the number where it says Number Format. And notice over here we have an entire date category. So you could choose any one of these pre-formatted dates. So I could choose that March 5th, 1960, and have that there. I can click another one and choose a different date format. So make sure that in the Format Cells dialog box, you're in the Number tab, and you click Date, and there I can choose 3/5/1960. And there we go. Now, if you're looking at these and you find that none of them is really pleasing, you can actually create your own. So let's go through the programming codes and the steps to create your own custom number format. So first, in terms for days, if you type D, the third will display as 3. And the 14th will display as 14th. But if you type in DD, The third will display as 03 instead of 3. For those of you who do accounting and want to make sure that the dates are all in a nice even format, every day has 2 digits, every month has 2 digits, every year either has 2 or 4 digits, you would use the DD format. Now, when it comes to the month, if you type February would equal 2, and November equals 11. But if you type MM, then February equals 02, not 2, for the same reason that I gave before. So you have a nice even, right? Every day has 2 digits, every month has 2 digits. Now, if you type MMM, February will show up as FEB. And if you type MMMM, February would show up as February. And then finally, for the year, there are only 2 options. YY would give me 60 for 1960. And then YYYY would give me 1960 for 1960. So let's see how we can apply these formatting. So I'm going to click in cell A1, and I want a format where it's going to be 0305, but 1960. So I'm going to click on cell A1. I'm going to click the down arrow in the number format group again to get to the format cells, but this time I'm going to click on custom, not date, but I'm going to click on custom. So I'm just going to delete whatever is in the type. Don't care, just delete it, get rid of it. So I wanted 03, so I'm going to type DD /. Then I do MM, then /, and then YYYY. So notice my sample, 5/03/1960. And now I have my day, month, year instead of my month, day, year. Let's say I wanted to create a custom format, a very, very custom format. So let's say that I wanted to do the 5th day of March, 1960. So I'm going to click that down arrow next to the number group. I'm going to choose custom again, just delete whatever is in custom. And now any text has to be in double quotes. So I'm going to do the, so double quote, the, space, close the double quote, then D, double quote, space, of, close my double quote, MMMM, open my double quote, in, space, close my double quote, YYYY. So the 5th of March in 1960. And I click OK, and there is my custom format. Now, let's move on to using formulas with dates. There are many different formulas that have to do with dates. So in fact, if you go to the Formulas tab, you notice that there's an entire date and time section, and a lot of these have to deal with date. So first of all, a great function is the function today. So equals today, open parentheses, close parentheses. What that does is it returns today's date. Now what happens is that is updated every time you open the worksheet. So let's say, for example, that you had a list of overdue customers and you wanted to know how many days they were overdue. we could tell Excel to take the today, and I'm going to use the F4, then subtract the date due, hit enter, copy that down, and now today is updated and the days overdue is updated every time you open the worksheet. So by using the today function, you never have to recalculate how many days overdue. Now let's go into some other functions as well. So let's say once again we wanted to calculate the number of days between dates. There's a function that does that, which is called days. So now I'm going to click in cell C15. I'm going to go to Formulas, Date and Time, and use the days function. So in the days function, I just put in the end date, and I put in the start date, and notice it gave me the same answer as before, 23,016 days. For those of you who want to count on a 360-day basis, you would just use the days 360 as the same exact way. Put in the start date and the end date, and it would give you the days on a 360-day year, 30-day basis. So there's end of month, there's month, year, day, so you can extract those out of dates. There are a lot of different functions that are available here, and one function that you might want to use is a function called date if you want to use a date within a formula. So I'm going to click date for right now, and notice my date is year, month, and day. I actually need to cancel that. So now let's assume that I want to see what date if I was alive for 10,000 days. So I'm going to take equals date. So put in the year, 1960. Put in the month, which is 3. Put in the date, which is 5. And then add 1,000. So I was alive for 1,000 days on November. Oh, that's 1,000. I meant 10,000. So I'll just add another 0. So I was alive for 10,000 days on July 22nd, 1987. So the only way that you can use a date within a function is to use that date function within the formula. If not, what I would have to do is I'd have to take 3,560 and then take that cell and add 10,000. But if you want to use a date within a formula, you have to use that date function.